and welcome to Evil's Comics.
Hey everybody, I'm Evil Mike. Welcome to Evil's Comics. This is my weekly pickups from the week 6, I think 9, 2021. This is the Marvel and Indie pickup. I'm also going to do a small review of all these comics as well because it's such a small pickup, and I'll do my DC tomorrow or the next day, depending, because it's a bigger stack, to keep the time frame down a little. So I'm going to save this one for first, to get this one out of the way. Y'all might not know what this is. This is Joseph Schlomak's. I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, but this is Black Caravan's Scout Comics imprint. Their horror branding, but this is Cherry Blackbird #1, and it comes in a Mylar. I didn't understand why at first. I heard a little bit about this comic, but it comes in a Mylar for a reason. There's no poster or nothing like that. There's a lot of I wouldn't say a lot of nudity. There is nudity. The first 3 pages, and I'm not going to show any of that because I don't want to get flagged or anything. Here at Evil Comics, that does not bother me. I do not go for nudity or anything, but I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's in there. I can say the scene that it's in there, it is kind of tasteful and funny, but it is really kind of badass at the end of it if you can just make it past the first 2 pages. But I will show you some of the art. This story basically follows Cherry Blackbird, and at some point, I guess, to become famous or something like that, and they show her here rocking out. But you know, she kind of sold her soul to the devil type thing to become famous, and she has up until her 27th birthday. It is officially her 26th birthday, so she's got a year left. And this individual, and there's no nudity. She's got stamps on her boobies. YouTube, if you're watching, that's why I don't want to get flagged. But let's say a accountant or contract man or something like that, a bag man comes that I guess works for Bahamut, the devil, or Satan, or whatever his name is that you prefer. I kind of like Lucifer, but he comes to her with the proposition, hey, recently the 7 deadly sins escaped hell. They're among earthlings. They're just in earth, human bodies. And he explains that the second that these sins went inside these bodies, these demons went inside these bodies, the human part of them died. But he's basically tasking her to I'm just gonna random art, but he's basically giving her the quest to track them down and kill them and put them back in hell. And if she does this, she doesn't have to worry about dying on her 27th birthday. Her contract is null and void. We do kind of go forward a little bit, and basically kind of the setup is she's getting trained, and at first I was kind of what for, you just kind of have to read it. It was honestly a great read. It's a first book. I can't wait to see where the second issue goes. The nudity in the beginning was 2 pages really, and the rest of the book it does have some revealing shots, but it's not overboard with the nudity. But it was a really good read. If you can pick it up, I would suggest it, especially if you're a horror fan and the whole maybe a witch version of the X-Men type feel. That's kind of what it feels like she's becoming a superhero that's going to track down these 7 deadly sins type things. But Cherry Blackbird #1. Second up on the list was Bunny Mask #1, and these are in no particular order or anything. Honestly, all of the reads were good. I'm gonna get to my top out of these, but Bunny Mask was good. I didn't know what to expect. The first couple pages, I kind of went into this comic, and sometimes I do this, but I put up this complex for good reasons, but I told myself this was going to be trash. It was going to be horrible. I give it the worst outlook. So going into it, like, no matter what it is, I have a better outlook than how I imagined it type thing. I approach that situation to many things on life. Every day at work, I imagine it to be the worst day ever in my mind. And then when I go to work, it's never quite as bad as what I imagined it. So, I mean, no matter what work throws at me, it's never that bad. Little tip. But Bunny Mask was okay. I must say that the first couple pages of the art, I wasn't really digging it. But the art does get better as the book progresses. It's basically set up as this, like, it's a father and a daughter, and he's crazy, and he's like, born and raised this little girl. We don't know what happened to the mother. The guy probably killed her, because he's crazy nuts. I mean, this guy's hearing voices, but basically he's born and bred that into her, so she's picked up a lot of his disorders and stuff like that. It jumps forward to some social workers that are coming out to, like, visit the child because they're already starting to see signs, and instantly the book gets going. It's bloody, it's action. The guy ends up killing both he kills one of them, then he kidnaps the other one. The other one is kind of like the main character of the book because we kind of follow through what the guy had planned with him. He calls him a snitch. But he basically, like, he kidnaps him and he has him in this tunnel that's underneath the house, and the guy's looking for something that he calls the snitchers or something like that. Down there we do run into the daughter, and she's digging down there too. So it's not just the guy alone. Eventually the guy does enter some cavern. The main kidnapper, like, thinks he's trying to escape or find the secrets that he had been looking for, the reason he had him digging. And it doesn't go down like that. This is just more random art, but that's in the tunnel. But eventually down there in the tunnels, in this panel you can see it, like, right there. But it's kind of our first, I thought it was going to be, it's kind of weird how it's set up, and some of it hasn't revealed what's going on. But it kind of looks like the Money Mask might be like two different things, because the little girl, at first you're reading it and you think it's her because she appears and she ends up saving the dude, and it's really cool, and I mean, it looks a lot more basic than what I expected, but I mean, I don't know why, but I mean, it looks basic there. I thought, I don't know, it was going to be a little more, but I mean, that's not a bad thing. But the story kind of progresses and jumps forward. Something crazy happens in the caves, and Bunny Mask does end up saving that guy, and jumps forward, and the guy has progressed through his life, and he ends up running into that little girl in the cave. There's a big reveal at the end that's kind of spurring us to the second issue. I mean, overall, it was a really good read. It was a lot. I would say it's better than mediocre. It wasn't like one of my top reads. I'm kind of going to get to that one next. But, I mean, Bunny Mask overall was really good. I could really see it being in a show or something like that if you're into spec-worthy. Shoot, this one, I could really see being a show. You talk about some spec-worthy, like Amazon, hint, hint. Gieger, number 3, Image Comics. First off, I love Gieger. To me, it's one of the best things about this comic is it doesn't come out like every week or every 2 weeks. It gives you time to recuperate, buy other things like this. It's so nice when we kind of have smaller weeks. It allows you to explore, especially with me being a budget guy. And this was a big week for me still. This was a big week. But Gieger number 3, we're getting a lot more of his origin story, who the actual hero of the comic is. I think it kind of starts it. I can say one thing, it's really confusing. You kind of have to read through it once or twice because it flips and flops all over, past, forward, present. But I mean, once you kind of get everything together, it does paint a solid picture. But I mean, even the way the squares are set up there, it gets to certain points and you're like, wait a minute, was that the future? I mean, was that the present? Was that the past? Because in the beginning, a lot of the outland, the apocalyptic world, they jump around in the present and a little before the present, but then they do a whole backstory in the beginning, the origin part of the story. those two versions of the story in the are kind of confusing because they both, like, these two scenes are different, but they look the same. So I mean, you kind of have to like piece it together. I will say this is one of my top reads so far. I've read some of the DC. I read all these, minus one, and I'll explain why. But man, this was just an amazing read. And man, there is one page that, you know, I won't show too much, but man, like this page and the next page, man, it almost got me to cry. Like I was already like tearing up. Oh man, he did such an amazing job with the pacing and the writing, like where he's going with it. It's exactly what you want in an origin story. There's heartbreak and sorrow and the development of who this superhero is, why he's doing what he's doing. The actual reveal of the bad guy was phenomenal because he wasn't just this like knockoff of stuff we've seen before, but he's right there. But even their little suits, because they're in this radiated world, so they all had these like bubble dome, you know, helmets on with night, you know, armor. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, but just seeing him go full blow, and we got to learn a little more about him, like one of his like defaults, I guess you can say. But man, this issue is like by far not only the best in the series, but I mean out of all these other comics, this one, I mean, it almost got me to cry. And then like a couple pages later, man, it started to get tense, and like it almost got to the point where it was like anxiety was kicking in. It was such a great reading. Next up, we got Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters, and I didn't make that same mistake. I went ahead and picked up the tie-in. Thank God, because it does continue directly where the last one left off. This is one of the ones I missed out, and I don't know why, but I wanted to pick it up, but it was this cover specifically. I wanted the Pride issue version of this, so if y'all see this, get this, because I go to a big comic store, and they did not have any of the Pride. They usually have a good variations of variants. We didn't have any, so if you get a chance to get them, it might be like a small print count or something like that. This issue is really good. I can say, it's not that I hate Marvel and stuff like that. It's just, you'll see, I only picked up a couple Marvel, and like I said, I look at all their stuff. Now, this was a small week for Marvel, but I will have to say this: I have like issues 1 and 2 of Bounty Hunters, and I haven't been sticking forward with it. But I will have to say it has some really good art. The story was really good. It was just a fun ride. I mean, not reading any of the Bounty Hunter series, I wasn't lost, which is amazing. I love when writers are able to, that there was editor notes in here. It was just a really great read, and it's just setting up, it's just following the events of the last story, and now, and I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but this character is with Gieger, and they're trying to track down Han Solo and help him. He has he's trying to repay a debt, kind of like Chewbacca. In the midst of him trying to find, Han Solo and rescue him from Boba Fett, he runs into Chewbacca, and basically it's this battle. It's so badass because that guy's kind of just as strong as Chewbacca. And Chewbacca, I mean, he just wrecks shop with the guy, so it was nice. And I think the guy's name is Vance. I'm bad with names. Okay, so next up, I did pick up Night Gwen issue number 1. Come on, all y'all know Gwen stuff is just always big and everything. I honestly, I did not even read this. I didn't want to. I might go back and read it later. I did flip through and look at the art, and again, Pride on Marvel, it's actually really good art. It's some of the better art that I've seen. There were some panels here with Gwen that were truly amazing. Now, I didn't take a break enough to look at the artists, and that's kind of me. Sometimes I don't do that. But I mean, I might go back and read it. But this is kind of like one of those things. Like I'm not big on the business side of it, but every now and then I do pick up spec things that I think will be big in the future, and you never know. So I picked this up. I did also pick up issues Procter Valley Road 3 and 4 because I picked up 1 and 2. I haven't read it yet, so I'm taking a gamble. I don't know, but I mean, I figure I'm already got the first 2. I might as well get what I can, and I'm lucky because this was the last issue of number 3. They had a ton of 4. I don't know why 3. So hopefully there's something big in number 3. All right, last but not least, I did do another half-price bookstore, and this goes out to, I don't have a name for it. No, I'm not gonna go that route. Anyways, I had this big lined up joke, and I just couldn't think of the punchline to it. But I got one coming for y'all. I love doing the little skits and stuff. So if y'all like that, like I know, I think Uncanny reached out to me and he was like, "Yeah, man, I love that bread sponsor bit." I love doing little bits. I'm thinking of little like jokes to put in there. I have a really weird sense of humor, so y'all might not get all my jokes. I'm sorry. All right. So dollar bin pickups. I went next door to Half Price Books, and it was calling. I don't know, and I'm so glad because I looked in the same bins as I did yesterday because I was actually looking for something that I passed up. It was gone, but this boy done found gold in the middle hill. Let me show you, because I got Death of Wolverine, some shiny goodness. Not at cover price. It wasn't a dollar bin, you know, it's half price, but it was half off of $4.99, and this is the, you know, direct edition. I mean, it is clean all the way through. It looks like it's never even been read, and this is one of those foil covers, so you can usually tell when somebody's read it. But I mean, in my book, that's a win. I think this is right around the times that I just got back into, like after the event. I'm gonna start calling it that, the event, so I don't have to keep talking about that. Honestly, every time I mention my comics getting stolen, it hurts. So I'm gonna start calling it the event for my fans that are watching. Thank y'all. But it does hurt every time I mention that. Okay, Death of Wolverine, another amazing find. I did not know about this comic, and you have to remember there was a little gap in my comic book collecting, so I missed out on stuff. Chip Zdarsky is new. So far, everything I have read of his I liked. I will say the other guy, Donny Cates, that's big on Marvel, I've read a lot of his stuff so far, and I'm not a big fan. I like his short stories, like where he has, you know, stories and Superman, and I don't remember what short stories I've read of his, but his Venom and Thor, it wasn't for me. I'm not saying he's a bad writer or anything. Please, you know, don't think that. That's my opinion. But I will say this author I have liked, or this writer, I have liked a lot of his stuff, and y'all gotta know this book. But Spider-Man Life Story 1, the 60s by Chip Zdarsky. I mean, I found this in the $half bin. Now, I don't know why it was in there. I'm pretty sure somebody else. This is a half price, so but it was in the dollar bin, and it was half off for so literally 50 cents. I mean, it's another, like, you know, I'm not gonna say 9.8 or whatever. I hate that term. It looks like some stuff I could press out if I wanted to. Maybe a 9.2, 9.6. But hey, that's cool. Something I didn't know, something I didn't read. A lot of people talk about. So on the hunt. I also picked up Jonathan Hickman's God is Dead #1, Half Price Books. I got it for half off. It was $4.99, $3.99. So I paid $2. You know, $2. God is Dead. I don't know anything about that. It's just seen on some of y'all's channels. Now this one I do. I've owned before. All the X-Men hype and everything, but I know exactly what this is. Like I said, I've owned it before, but Codename Wolverine, top secret, with the ultra cool, you know, see-through claw cutting cover. It is a direct edition, or yeah, I don't. I mean, it's another like super clean copy. You know, this would be something that I would definitely like. It might be one of my first picks to send off to CGC. Quick little video, but tomorrow I got either tomorrow or the next day. I still have to read the rest of my DC. Overall, all these were good, minus the Nightwing. I am going to go back and read it. I did read Tankers #1, and I loved it so far. I'm on to issue #2. I got a stack of stuff to read like this, but I'll knock it out tonight. I want to say thank y'all to everybody that watches my videos. It still befounds me that y'all are spending some of y'all's time with me, and I love it. I'm going to put everything I have into this channel. I'm always going to improve. I'm always going to strive to do better. I will be a different channel. I can say that much, but I hope to keep you entertained, and I hope to bring you back for another episode of Evil's Pickups of the Week. And y'all have a great day. I also got this little sticker I forgot about. I got this sticker. I like little stickers. But y'all have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, hit that bell. Evil's always dropping some comments. I have some different videos coming out this weekend. Some of the same, some different. Y'all have a great day.